And the £200 million that's going to be spent to upgrade the border force vessels, and of course, these vessels were never intended for picking up large numbers of people at sea. They really aren't. I mean, in fact, one of the boats they've got is, in fact, a wind farm, an old wind farm boat they're using. But surely if we spend £200 million more on these vessels, surely all we're really getting then is just a more expensive taxi service, isn't it?
It's certainly costly, and the whole of the asylum system, let's not forget that it's costing us 1.3, 1.4 billion pounds a year already. So this is just adding a little bit more. It's also adding to the 200 million pounds that we've already given to France since 2015 to stop people leaving their shores. So this is a costly business. If we've got any sense at all, we would make a serious attempt at stopping this happening. In order to do that, we do need the cooperation of France and indeed the EU. They're doing the same sort of thing anyway. Greece is turning boats away. Italy is paying and training the Libyans to turn boats away. Spain is sending people back who have crossed the border from Morocco, from the areas where they're next to each other. So it's not as if the EU is above doing this sort of thing. All this nonsense about us contravening human rights laws and blackmailing France, that's a bit rich.
Well, let's just talk about those comments about, Priti Patel saying that she'll withhold the £54 million to help support French authorities unless we see results. The French are claiming that they're stopping 57% of the boats leaving the shores. Priti said we need a success rate of at least 75%. What do you make of this? Are the French authorities really doing enough to stop the boats from leaving?
Well, the French say they've stopped 10,000 or more people. What I would ask them is, how many of those have actually turned around and come straight back?
Of course.
We just don't know, frankly, what they're doing at the moment. They are making an effort of that, I'm sure. But the fact is that there are thousands and thousands of people in the EU who make their way to the northern shores of France, set sail, having paid a great deal of money, frankly, in risky dinghies and vessels that risk their lives. And unless we do something serious about it, unless we do something about it at source, and the source is at the point at which they enter the EU, then I'm afraid it will continue. France is not in a position to criticize us for wanting to stop this. They should be wanting to do the same.
And now, over 14,000 people so far have come into the UK and they're being housed all over the country, and not one single person, not one single person has been deported this year. And I think, from my studies of this, that's the biggest single pull factor. It's the biggest incentive to pay, as you say, large money to the people traffickers. It is the absolute certitude that whoever you are, wherever you've come from, whatever your background, that once you get into Dover docks, you will not be removed. Now, if we go back even 10 years, we were actually deporting significant numbers of people who'd illegally come to Britain and would not qualify for refugee status. I mean, 10 to 15,000 people a year were being deported going back a decade. And now, with the cross-channel boats, it's zero. Surely that is something that Priti Patel really could address.
Time and time again, I have said that that's what is going wrong at the core of our system, of our asylum system. We're not sending people back. Even those who fail, frankly, to qualify, they are still here. We provide accommodation, we provide maintenance, we provide free medical care. Of course it's going to be an attraction. Now, you could also argue, well, if people are in this country, we should be humane. And we are humane people. However, the fact is that people who are coming here in order to stay and not genuine refugees, in my view, should be held, a decision quickly made, and then returned, either from whence they came or back to their countries of origin. Until we do that, I'm afraid they will continue coming, and we will be having this conversation this time next year and talking about even larger numbers coming across from the other side of the channel.
Welcome to the GB News YouTube channel. You can watch us live 24 hours a day, catch up on your favourite shows and join in the conversation in the comments below.
Don't forget to subscribe and you'll never miss any of our exclusive content.